Good afternoon and welcome to the regular meeting on November 19th of the Parks, Recreation, and Community Services Commission. May we have the roll call, please?
Sure. Commissioner Sasatrian?
Present.
Babayan?
Present.
Oh, Kalfayan now?
Which
Is
one?
present. Wolfson?
Present.
President Michaels.
Present.
The agenda for the November 19, 2018 regular meeting was posted on the bulletin board outside City Hall on or before Friday, November 16, 2018. Item 2, introductions and presentations. At A, introduction of new Commissioner Devine Babayan.
Thank you, President Michaels, members of the Commission. I'd like to introduce Commissioner Devine Babayan. He has been a resident in Glendale for the last 25 years, born and raised. Sorry, I had to say your age.
All good.
Born and raised in Glendale. He's currently a law student at USC. He received his undergraduate degree at UCLA in political science. He currently works as a consultant for Blue State Consulting, where he manages political campaigns in the LA area. Commissioner Babayan is also a member of a number of organizations in Glendale, such as the Glendale Democratic Club, AYSO Region 88, and the Glen Oaks HOA. We look forward to working with Commissioner Babayan. We met about a month and a half ago. I introduced him to all of our sections in our department, and he's very excited to be a Parks Commissioner, and we're looking forward to working with you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Welcome, Commissioner Babayan. Would you like to say a few words?
Yeah, I'll just real quick. First of all, I want to thank Mayor Sinanian again, not just for his appointment, but I know him well, and I know the sacrifices that he makes and the time that he puts into the city. So I just wanted to thank him for his leadership first and foremost. Like Onik said, I was born and raised in Glendale, so I know the parks and every crevice and every corner of the city pretty well, from a young age all the way till now. So I'm really excited to get involved with the commission. I wanted to thank him for welcoming me with such open arms, and also Commissioner Satrian for welcoming me. I've known her for a really long time as well. I know the sacrifices that she's made, the time that she's put into this community, so I'm really excited to be up here with her as well. And finally, my other fellow commissioners that I just had the pleasure of meeting right now, but I'm super excited to work with you guys, so I'm really looking forward to it. Thank you for the opportunity.
Welcome. Welcome.
I'm sure speaking for everyone, we look forward to working with you.
Thank you.
The next item, please.
Next, we have item 2B, recognition of outgoing Commissioner Alex Wu. He will be joining us momentarily in a few minutes. I'm sorry, President Michaels, if you wish, we could move on to the next item.
Let's move to the next item, and we will come back when he arrives.
Okay. Item 3, upcoming council agenda items.
Thank you, President Michaels, members of the Commission. We have 2 items coming up next month. On December 4th, we have 1 item with our workforce development section, request for a limited exemption of the city's purchasing policy. And our second item is our Maple Park all-inclusive playground. We would like to dispense with competitive bidding and purchase the equipment and install in the hopes to have the playground ready for summer programming.
Well, at this time, I'd like to recognize and welcome outgoing Commissioner Alex Wu. Would you like to come up to the podium?
I apologize for my tardiness. Good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to just take this opportunity to thank Mayor Sinanian for granting me the opportunity to serve the great citizens of Glendale. I would like to also thank the current and past commissioners I've had the pleasure of working with. And I would like to also thank the staff. I mean, they make us look so good. Month in and month out, can't do it without them. And just in closing, I would like to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving and happy holidays. Thank you.
Well, on behalf of the Commission, let me express my thanks personally for the Commission and for the staff, and recognize you for your 5 years of service, including serving as the President of the Commission. So,
thank you. 5 years. Time flies when you're having fun. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
very much. Thank you. Thanks again.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Take care.
Well, before you go, I just wanted to take this opportunity to thank you so much. It's been an absolute honor serving with you. You're truly going to be missed, and I'm sure Commissioner Babayan has kind of watched some of the old Parks Commission meetings, but you always had thoughtful comments. You always put diversity and the importance of serving the diverse communities of the Glendale residents first, and I very much appreciate having you on this dais with me. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much once again. And I'm pretty sure our new commissioner will be doing a better job than me, so, all right.
Excited to-
Thanks again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next item, please.
Next is item 4, commission staff comments.
Are there any comments?
I had a couple of comments. I just wanted to mention, I went to the State of the Schools breakfast event, and that was a very interesting event, and I highly recommend, if anyone else has not attended in the past or is interested in attending it next year, they have it every year. And it's very informative about the schools and what they're trying to achieve and what they are achieving. And secondly, I just wanted to let Onig know there was a shout out on Nextdoor. One of the residents was very pleased. She went to vote at the Civic Auditorium, and there were some issues, and she called, and it was immediately taken care of, and there were numerous likes from all over the city, so I just wanted to make sure you knew about it. So.
Thank you.
I have some comments.
Please go ahead.
So first and foremost, on the calendar of events that we always get at the commission meetings, is there any way that we can possibly get those in an email format? And especially in between commission meetings, especially when meetings are canceled, I find myself finding out about events on Facebook and thereafter. So I want to make sure that we have the opportunity to attend the events and be able to maybe do like a calendar share instead of just getting the notices during the commission meetings.
Sure.
Okay. Speaking of Nextdoor, I want to bring this up. I did try reaching out to the resident, but I haven't heard back. But there is a petition running for dog parks in Glendale, in support of dog parks. I wanted to see if we can possibly start looking at locations where we can have dog parks. I think they're at a couple of hundred signatures. I did want to talk to the resident and see what they were looking for specifically, invite them to the Parks Commission meeting, but I haven't heard back from her. But I know it's out there, and I want to make sure that we're being proactive in addressing the needs that there are in the community. I attended with my nephews Dios de los Muertos, hosted by the city clerk's office on Artsakh Street, which I thought was like super awesome. It was a very kid-friendly environment. My understanding is that that event cost about $10,000, and the reason that it cost so little was because of all the partnerships that the city clerk's office had for the event. I want to see if we can do more of those and kind of follow in the footsteps of the clerk's office, and really, instead of us putting money into the events, find partners that would be willing to come in and host the event with the Parks Commission and the Parks Department. Number 3 is the report on donation of playgrounds. Do we have any updates on that? During the last Parks Commission meeting, I had asked to see if we can possibly start the process of donating our used playgrounds to possibly start off with the sister cities. I want to follow up with that and see if there's a report that's...
Yeah, President Michaels, members of the commission, Commissioner Sartarian, we are working with our vendor. As I mentioned earlier, we're going to take a report to council for the all-inclusive playground at Maple Park. We did get a bid or a quote on saving the playground, which is actually cheaper than demolishing it and recycling it. So we are working with the vendor, and we'll work with, there's a nonprofit focused on children now that I've been in contact with for them to pick up the equipment and ship it over to our sister city. We're still we're researching, finalizing it, and we'll come back to commission in the next couple months. I have been asked also to report that to council, so the same report will go to commission and council.
Okay, thank you.
But we are working on it.
And then last thing is possibly looking at an ice rink during Christmas time and winter season. I know a lot of our surrounding cities have that. I'd love to see something similar in Glendale. I had this conversation, I think, around the same time last year with one of the parks staffers who I think had looked into some pricing and said that it might be too costly. But I do want to see if we can formalize that and see if we can bring something to Glendale. I think it would be worthwhile to create some sort of Christmas and winter theme somewhere in the city.
President Michaels, Commissioner Sartarian, we will look at it. About a few years ago, I did do some research and talked to the neighboring cities, Burbank, Santa Monica, City of LA, Pershing Square. Actual first-time costs will be between $80,000 to $150,000. Council has requested a report from the city manager's office on different ice rinks and to see if there's anywhere in the city that we might fit an ice rink. We were looking at the back parking lot, back of the parks office, but right now it's preliminary. We're still researching, but we'll come back to commission with either a written or a verbal report.
The 80 to 150,000, is that after profits or?
The cities that I talked to, there was no profit made. Basically, with electrical upgrade that was needed to operate the ice rink, plus the cost of the ice rink coming in, basically there was no profit made. Profit was, City of Santa Monica made profit in the third year of operation, but base profit's not made. The profit all goes to the company that operates it, or revenues.
Thank you.
How much funds we have for new projects? Do we have anything left?
It depends, Commissioner Colfine, it depends on the project and where. DIF funds, we currently have a little under $2 million not allocated to any project. We are working on securing funds from Prop 68 and LA County's Measure A program.
And any programs for adding soccer fields in Glendale?
We currently have three that we're working on, one at Fremont, U12 soccer field, one at Cerritos, a U10, and one at Wilson Middle School, at U12, U14. So we're working on 3 soccer fields as we speak.
I'd just like to echo the compliments of Commissioner Asatrian for the Day of the Dead event and the partnership, particularly with the Library Arts and Culture. Tying the Central Library and the Art Soc Paseo together made a much larger and much better event. So, next item, please.
President Michaels, members of the commission, if I may, during this item, I'd like to also present some of the upcoming events and activities in our department. On November 28th at 9 a.m., we have a CDBG technical support meeting at the Perkins Community Room. On November 29th, from 5 to 8, we have Cram a Classic Toy Drive across from the Glendale Police Department. And that same evening at 6 p.m., we have the holiday tree lighting ceremony at City Hall Perkins Plaza. We have a tea night out on November 30th and December 7th at 5 p.m. at Pacific Community Center. Birdwalk on the Riverwalk will be offered on December 1st from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. at Glendale Narrows Riverwalk. We have a Parents' Night Out on December 7th from 6 p.m. to 12 a.m. at Pacific Community Center. Holiday at the Old Stone Barn offered on December 15th from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. at Tugmajan Wilderness Park. We're also having Pancakes with Santa on December 15th from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. at the Artsac Paseo. And a pajama party in the Paseo on December 22nd from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. also at Artsac Paseo. And then we're back here on December 17th for another commission meeting. Anyone interested in more information can call 818-548-2000 or visit the city's website, the city's calendar. And I also encourage everyone who has not signed up for the e-newsletter to sign up at csp@glendaleca.gov. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item is item 5, oral communications. I don't have any cards. Item 6, consent items. At A, approval of the minutes of the commission regular meeting held on September 17, 2018.
I just have one comment and a clarification for the trees that are installed on Brand. My question was more if these were the fruitless variety of olives that did not produce olives that produce a lot of litter as well as pollen, which can be an allergen in the Southwest.
President Michaels, the answer to the question is yes, they are fruitless olives.
Thank you.
And I will make a clarification on the minutes.
Are there any other comments on the minutes? Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
I'll move it.
And a second?
Thank you.
Roll call, please.
Commissioners Asatrian,
Yes.
Babayan,
Yes.
Kafayan,
Abstain.
Wolfson,
Yes.
President Michaels.
Yes.
Item 7, action items. At A, election of officers. At 1 is president and 2 secretary.
At this point, I will now turn it over to the clerk to conduct the elections.
Thank you. The business before the Parks, Recreation, and Community Services Commission is the selection of a new president. I will now entertain nominations for that office.
I nominate Commissioner Elena Satrian for the office of president.
Are there any further nominations? Okay, we have a nomination for Commissioner Asatrian. Hearing no further nominations, I will proceed with the roll call. Commissioner Asatrian,
Yes.
Babayan,
Yes.
Kalfayan,
Yes.
Michaels,
Yes.
Wolfson.
Yes.
I now declare Commissioner Asatrian the duly elected president of the Parks, Recreation, and Community Services Commission. Madam President, the task before you now is to open the floor for nominations for the office of secretary.
I open the floor for nominations for the office of secretary.
I would like to nominate Commissioner Wilson for the office of secretary.
Are there any further nominations? No? I'll take a roll call. Commissioner Babayan,
Yes.
Kalfayan,
Yes.
Michaels,
Yes.
Wolfson,
Yes.
President Asatrian.
Yes.
Okay, I now declare Commissioner Wilson the duly elected secretary of the commission. And if you wish, you may switch seats and I'll switch your.
Hi there. You already did. Iris, guide me.
Next item. 8, reports information only at A Sports Complex Annual Report.
President Asatrian, members of the commission, I'd like to invite Courtney Maglio, who is our Community Services Coordinator, who's here with us, and she'll be presenting the report.
Good afternoon, President Asatrian, members of the commission. I'm here to present the annual report for the Glendale Sports Complex. And I think we have a PowerPoint presentation ready for this. Oh, and I have the button, sorry. Okay, so here we go. Here's the beautiful sports complex. And as you can see, the sports complex, it is comprised of a total of 2 softball fields, 1 artificial turf baseball field, and 2 artificial turf soccer fields. It's open daily from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. There's also a community room and an outdoor patio available for reservations. Sports section staff receives and processes facility reservation requests for these 5 fields and the meeting room, as well as 12 outlying fields. In addition to operating the complex, the Glendale sports staff coordinates adult slow pitch softball leagues, adult soccer leagues, the adult basketball league, and softball tournaments. There is also a master soccer program offered at the Glendale Sports Complex for adults over the age of 40. I think I want to go back here. Field 1 is the field that you can see to your left, nice and green. It was fully converted to an artificial turf baseball field during this reporting period. It was closed for renovation between January and April of 2018 and opened officially on May 10th, 2018 for the ribbon cutting ceremony. The full cost of the improvements to the facility was $1.02 million, which St. Francis High School paid for in its entirety. The improvements included converting the field from natural grass to artificial turf, enclosing the sinking dugouts, installing new fences in various areas, adding an enclosed batting cage and bullpen to both sides of the field, and installing new fence screens around the field. There is also a U12 soccer field stitched into the outfield, providing an additional soccer field at the facility. The school is still working on upgrading the scoreboard for their upcoming 2018-19 baseball season, and they have requested to improve the seating area and install a sound system. Got it. Okay. This is a close-up of Field 1 that also demonstrates the outfield, the U12 soccer field in the outfield. And then we have Fields 2 and 3, which are softball fields used for the city's adult softball league, as well as high school and college rentals. The Glendale Community College uses Field 2 as their home field, and we have multiple private schools in the area that use both fields for their games. The fields are also used for soccer practices, and AYSO uses them for their games during their season. Here's a nice shot for 4 and 5. Both are full-size soccer fields. Because they are both artificial turf, they're playable in all weather and do not need downtime for maintenance. The fields are used daily, and there is a waiting list for prime time, which is Monday through Friday, 4 p.m. to 10 p.m., as well as all day on Saturdays and Sundays. We also have the Glendale Sports Complex trails, both the Mountain Dew and the Catalina Verdugo trails. The construction for those trails began in December of 2012, and the trails opened in June of 2013. The Mountain Dew Trail is an ADA accessible trail that runs behind the soccer fields and is accessible at both ends of the fields. The Catalina Verdugo Trail meanders up the Mountain Dew Trail behind Field 4 and winds around to the entrance of the sports complex. It's approximately 2.25 miles long, and it provides access to the road above it. Staff at the sports complex handle reservations for all of the fields at the complex, plus the 12 outlying sites. And this includes Stengel Field, which the city only reserves for film permits. The Glendale Unified School District handles all the maintenance on that field and the sports reservations associated. Revenues from these field rentals is reflected in the citywide sports account and not in this report. So the Glendale Sports Complex generated $500,236 in field rental revenue in the 2017-18 fiscal year, which was a 4% increase from last year. Although Field 1 was closed for renovation for 4 months, the revenue still increased. This is mostly due to the cancellation of the Summer Soccer League due to low enrollment, which allowed staff to rent out the soccer fields to private users instead of locking them up for league use. Staff is evaluating the future of the soccer league due to more private renters running their own leagues. There has been a significant drop in the participation of the city's leagues at both the sports complex and Pacific Community Center. There is also a higher demand for soccer field rentals, which generates more per hour revenue. We also run slow pitch softball leagues. They're offered to men Tuesday through Friday nights, and we have a co-ed slow pitch softball league that's available on Sunday afternoon and Monday evenings. Prior to 2017, the city used field number 1 for the softball league, but it does not utilize it as a softball field anymore because of the conversion in 2017 so that St. Francis could rent it from the city as their home field. The conversion made it difficult to use as a softball field due to the mound and the infield grass. Staff decided to rent the field out as a baseball and U12 soccer field and also reduce the number of softball teams in the city's league to avoid needing the field for softball. In addition, the city has also given another night at Glorieta Field to Crescenta Valley United Softball, which is a youth softball organization, due to their increased participation. The loss of field time has resulted in fewer spots being available to adult teams to play throughout the past few years. There were 399 teams registered in 2017-18 as compared to 432 in 16-17. The Adult Soccer League operated on Thursday evenings. In 2017-18, there were 6 teams registered for the 20 available spots. The Summer League for 2018, which would have begun in June, was canceled due to low enrollment. We also have a Masters Soccer program for adults to play drop-in casual soccer on weekday mornings. Participants must pay for an annual activity card plus a daily fee of $2 to play. Tuesday and Thursday mornings are for adults over the age of 60, and Wednesday and Friday mornings are for anyone over the ages 40 and over. There were 58 activity cards sold in 2017-18, and the average daily participation was 32 participants. In 2016-17, there were 61 activity cards sold, and the daily average participation was 19 participants. Although 3 fewer cards were sold, the participants with a card came to the program on a more consistent basis throughout the year. Staff feels that the FIFA World Cup taking place in 2018 had a direct impact on the daily participation. Participation increased in the spring and early summer of 2018 as players got excited for those games. And here is the revenue sources from the fiscal year 2017-18. Staff transferred revenue for the cell phone towers for the Glendale Sports Complex account to the Parks Maintenance account. And although the funds were still deposited to the Special Revenue Fund and thus supported overall operations of the Special Revenue Fund operations, it did result in a decrease of almost $100,000 in the Glendale Sports Complex revenue. In addition, the City Finance Department began charging Special Revenue Fund operations for building and maintenance costs through cost allocation. The Glendale Sports Complex was charged $107,489 for building and maintenance costs in the maintenance and operation expenses for the year. The loss of revenue combined with the increased costs resulted in a loss of $129,893 this fiscal year as compared to profits in previous years. Although again, it wasn't a loss to the entire department. And then with regards to community outreach, we advertise our programs through the department newsletter, the city's website, and through word of mouth. The softball leagues are always full, with staff typically turning teams away each season, especially due to the reduced number now of softball fields. While interest in the city's soccer league has decreased, staff feels that this is a trend for recreational leagues. The Pacific Community Center Soccer League participation is also dwindling, with more teams interested in semi-professional and private leagues that allow for prizes to winning teams. Soccer fields have a waiting list for available time, as do the baseball fields during baseball season. Staff is challenged every quarter to fit in many of the interested renters into the schedule as possible and turn away customers regularly due to the lack of field time during prime hours. Any questions?
I just had one question. Was that other income, the rental income, $96,134, is that the cell tower income that you're talking about? That went from $96,134 to zero from last year to?
Yes.
Which one?
Chair Asatryan, the members of the commission, that is the cell tower revenue. Basically, we transferred that over to Park Services account, revenue account.
Thank you.
I have a question. I'm trying to compare your soccer fields with the baseball fields. And you said there is more demand and there's a waiting list for the soccer games demand against the baseball. How often do we use the baseball fields? Do we need 3 baseball fields in there?
2 of the fields at the Glendale Sports Complex are softball fields, and 1 of them is a baseball field.
Right.
So they're used for different sports, and different groups and organizations require either softball or baseball, depending on what their rules are and what sport they're playing.
Which sports bringing more funds in rentals?
I would, Chair Asadarian, members of the commission, I would say softball brings in more revenue. We do have adult leagues, and the adult leagues run about 6 nights a week, I believe. And when the softball fields are not used, we use that outfield for soccer at all of our fields. During the soccer season, we use the outfields for soccer, and during baseball season, the little leagues use the facilities. We have adult softball, and we have girls softball using all of our fields.
Our financial loss was because of the renovation or anything?
President Asatri, Commissioner Kalfayan, part of it, it's not necessarily a loss, but the transfer of the revenues, that there was cell tower revenues that used to go into the same account that we budget for the sports complex. So this year that revenue was transferred to the Park Services account, and so that's part of it, but there's also building maintenance cost allocation, if you recall at the last meeting as well. In the past, our facilities didn't have a direct cost, which was the building maintenance cost that was allocated to the buildings. This past year, there's a specific cost allocation that's allocated to building maintenance, and the sports complex, being a non-general funded facility, also got hit with $100,000 of building maintenance costs, and so that's also impacting the increase in expenses, which then reflects negatively on the total profit. So it's multiple things, it's not just one.
If the transfer was made from the special revenue fund that supports the sports complex, what account was the revenue from the cell towers transferred into, and how does that affect the budget as a whole?
President Asadarian, Commissioner Michaels, as you know, we have our own operations with a lot of the cell towers being deposited into a Park Services revenue account, which helps pay for all the field renovation, the tennis court resurfacings. Some of the projects you see forthcoming, the baseball field renovations, comes out of those accounts, as well as our weekend operations, and a lot of the staff charged to those accounts. So what we've done strategically is, given the fact that a lot of those costs are related to Park Service operations, we shifted those 2 cell towers from going into the sports complex revenue account into the Park Services revenue account, where the charges of all those ball field renovations are going. So in a sense, it's still the same department fund, just under a different org. I'm sorry, it should be under different funds, same org, to be able to reflect the cost under Park Services section and not over budget or under budget on our operations to be able to deliver those services. So essentially just moved it from recreation's special revenue into Parks special revenue for us to deliver the same services.
No, I understand the transfers. I was just looking to look at which budget we would see changes in as far as an increase in revenue, and be able to identify what changes that coming out of that budget, if more is coming out of that budget?
So again, President Asadrian, Commissioner Michaels, you will, if you look at the Park Services account, special revenue account over the past 3 years, you will note that a lot of the charges would put our budget kind of in the red. So what we did to accommodate for those, the overspending of the field renovations and tennis court resurfacing, we shifted funds to be able to keep it in the black. So those changes would be visible in the Park Services special revenue account, which, given the fact we don't have a lot of programming, our only income is cell tower generated, and then the American Golf at the Shoal Ball Fields, golf and tennis, we get revenues from those rentals. Those are charged to my revenue accounts, the Park Service revenue accounts. That's where a lot of those activities will be reflected.
And going forward, is there a goal to balance this budget with the cell tower revenue being transferred?
I think what happens is, overall, if you look at the operation of the sports complex, overall, including the citywide field rentals, the sports complex isn't necessarily in the negative. And so this kind of comes back to where some of our programs make more money and other programs make less money. But at the end of the day, some of the programs that are doing better offset the cost of this. What we also have, which we haven't done in previous years, is grant funding that we are able to draw down on. For the last 2 to 3 years, we haven't been drawing down on those funds, knowing that we're able to sustain the operation without that additional money coming from grant funds. But now that we're seeing that the operation isn't necessarily sustaining itself, going forward, we'll also be drawing down on some of those maintenance funds from the grant funds from Prop A, from the county. So in the next budget cycle, we'll include probably about $100,000 to $150,000 in maintenance funds, and we have, I believe, about $1 million remaining in the Prop A funds that we could slowly draw down on for purposes of maintenance for the project, because it was funded with Prop A funds when it was first originally built.
Thank you.
Other comments? I actually have one question. Are you guys looking to do away with the soccer programs altogether, provided the number of cancellations that you have and the amount of revenue that we're able to generate through the rentals?
President Asadrian, members of the
Mike.
President Asadrian, members of the commission, we would like to offer the adult soccer league for the next season, but if we don't get enough teams registered, we will open it up to rentals. We do have, like Courtney had mentioned, we do have a lot of teams that rather rent the facility, play against other teams, have private leagues come in and rent it out. So we're still looking at it. Eventually, we'd probably want to open it up to rentals and just rent out the field and have nonprofits come in or clubs come in and program leagues.
Thank you.
The next item is item 8B, Summer Aquatics Program Report.
Good afternoon again, President Asatrian, members of the commission. I'm here to present the aquatics report as well, so I'll get started with that. So the Summer Aquatics Program was formally, this is a nice picture of Pacific Pool, was formally started in the year 2000 in response to the community's demand for additional summer programming. At that time, the department began to independently operate the pool located at Pacific Park at that time. In addition, the city shared use of the swimming pools for the 3 high schools, Glendale, Hoover, and Crescenta Valley High School. At the conclusion of the summer 2000 season, the original Pacific Pool was demolished to make way for the Edison Pacific project. In 2011, the city opened the new Pacific Community Pool pictured here. And although the programs at the 3 high schools have been eliminated due to budget reductions, programming at Pacific Community Pool remains intact. Staff continue to utilize Hoover High School for swim team and water polo practices, but regular programming at the high schools has been eliminated. Here's a list of the program components. So we have a variety of things that we offer: recreation swim, lap swim, instructional lessons to both youth and adults, community swim team, community water polo team. We have a junior lifeguard academy. We do a few special events. We rent the pool out for private parties, and we also operate 5 wading pools in the local parks. Summer program dates. Typically, we are open from Memorial Day through the last Sunday in September. Full programming is offered during the Glendale Unified School District core time off. So that would be from when they get out of school until they go back. We're offering additional programming because kids are out of school. And then we also offer 5 wading pools that are open Monday through Sunday on a rotating basis at 5 of our local parks: Brand, Dunsmore, Fremont, Glen Oaks, and Palmer. Here's a list of the fees for entrance. We have daily entrance fees, and then we also sell unlimited pool passes. The unlimited pool passes would be valid for lap swim and recreation swim and or adult fitness. And this is a list of what we sold in terms of passes for this previous summer. Recreation swim is offered Monday through Sunday. During this summer, we had an average of 174 people during the Glendale Unified School break, and a total summer attendance of 18,627. So that's how many rec swim entries we had for the entire summer. Here's a list of our our instructional lesson fees for both youth and adults. We offer 2 types of programs. We either have classes that run Monday through Thursday, 8 25-minute classes, or we offer Friday, Saturday, Sunday classes for those who can't do weekdays. And those classes are 6 35-minute classes, all for the same price, either the resident rate of $40 or the non-resident rate of $55 for those 2-week periods, and then the adult rates as well. We offer Parent and Me classes for infants and toddlers, levels 1 through 6 for youth, through beginning through advanced swimming, and then we also offer adult classes for any skill level. So for our instructional lesson and junior lifeguard program, this summer for swim lessons, we had 2,777 kids or enrollees participated in the program. Our average class size is 7. This summer we had 99% fill rate. Extra staff were scheduled to teach any classes that had more than 7. And this year we had 2 junior lifeguard academy sessions, each 2 weeks in length, with a total of 18 students. Junior lifeguards are expected, in addition to completion of the program, to volunteer at the pool site for a minimum of 20 hours, and that gives them some real hands-on experience with what it's like to be a lifeguard or what the expectations of a lifeguard are. We also utilize this Junior Lifeguard Academy as a feeder program for kids who are turning of age to become American Red Cross certified lifeguards. We have both our Glendale Gators swim team and our Glendale Polo Bears water polo program. This summer, the swim team had 76 participants. It's for youth ages 6 to 17, and typically they participate in 5 or so swim meets throughout the summer. And the culmination swim meet is hosted by the LA84 Foundation. And this is actually a picture. This is a picture of the LA84 Foundation's Water Polo Festival, which they do a culmination for the water polo program as well. This year we had 52 water polo Bears participants. The fee for each of the programs is $75. And the reason that the city participates in the LA84 culmination swim meets and culmination water polo programs is because the city receives a grant from LA84 specifically for the summer aquatics program. And as a result, they provide either staffing and or equipment, and then our participation in the various games and meets that are offered. Wading pools, as mentioned, we have 5 wading pools in our local parks. They're designed for children 8 and under. This is a picture of our wading pool at Dunsmore. So they're operated on a rotating basis, so not all 5 are open on a daily basis. Typically 2 are open on any given day. And they're for kids 8 and under because they're only about 1.5 feet deep. So the purpose is for them to get in and wade and kind of have fun and splash around. We are open to the public, but any time that we're not open to the public, we do open for private rental. This summer we had 81 private rentals, resulting in $13,675 in revenue generated for that program. Here is a chart listing the various revenues for the program. You can see the swim lesson revenue is the bulk of the revenue, and then recreation swim. We also have wading pools. You can see the LA84 grant helped us this summer with $7,032. We also have pool rentals, which would be specifically Pacific Pool. Team registration would be for swim team and water polo programs, and then concession sales that we operate at the site. And so the total revenue for this summer was $173,359. The rental revenue was impacted this summer due to increased hours of operation for recreation swim. So we had increased hours of recreation swim this summer, which provided less hours available for people to rent, which is why the rental revenue has gone down. Concession sales increased this year due to the introduction of Dippin' Dots at the front counter, very popular. And then there was also an increase in the LA84 grant. Typically we receive $8,000 in grant funding. The $7,000 that you see was the actual dollars that we received. The additional $1,000 was received for in-kind goods. And then thankfully the program is very popular, so in terms of outreach, people are reaching out to us. So we do our general advertisement in the newsletter and the city's webpage, but the aquatics program does have its own dedicated webpage, and we see people utilizing, through the reports, we see that people are checking that out on a year-round basis, and then of course there's a big upsurge prior to summer when it comes time for swim lesson registration. With regards to areas of improvement, we will continue to improve the online registration and encourage online registration. This past summer, we started online registration and offered it all summer long, and we found that it was popular, but people need guidance on how to register, and so I think that we'll see more online registration usage as people become more familiar with how to use the system and what it is that they're looking for. In addition, this year we had registration day for both day camps and aquatics on the same day. This did create an overload of customers and longer lines, and so that will be something that we'll look to do differently next year, where we won't combine them. That way there'll be less of a demand on staffing as well as the technological demands. The hiring has become more challenging for us due to decreased number of applicants, and that's kind of there's a lifeguard shortage nationally that people are struggling with. We hired more staff this year and advertised to a broader range, including using CPRS, college fairs, and other aquatic agencies. And despite hiring more than we anticipated needing, we still suffered a shortage when it came to wading pool rentals. And so we look to hire even more for next summer to combat that. And then we did address multiple repairs specifically at Pacific Pool, replacing all of the tubing for the chemicals, replacing the filter media, draining the pool, cleaning the plaster, refilling the pool with fresh water, replacing pool filter booster pump, and repairing a leak under the pool deck. So there was some needs there. The pool is 8 years old, and preventative maintenance is mandatory to keep it in good condition. We will continue to evaluate the operation and make sure to handle any maintenance quickly to prevent it from becoming a bigger issue. And we are exploring the cost of opening a pool year-round and/or partnering with the Glendale Unified School District to operate at their pools in the future. Any questions?
Fine.
Your participation prices will stay the same for next season, for next summer?
Entry for recreation
Entry,
swim and for
yes.
swim lessons? Yes, yes, they will.
And the minimum wage hike, is that affecting your budget?
President Asadarian, members of the commission, minimum wage will affect our both general fund and special revenue budget. Minimum wage will go up to, I believe, 11.50 January, 11.50 or 12? 11? Okay. Minimum wage is going to go up January 1st, so that means all of our recreation leaders, lifeguards, facility attendants that are at minimum wage or below minimum wage will need to increase. So what we do as part of the budget process is we'll ask for a service level increase for all of our programs through council, and hopefully we'll get that approved.
Thank you.
I have a question. Did the discount policy and the scholarship program that we implemented apply to the aquatics program?
It was only for day camps.
Just for day camp? Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item?
Next item is 8C, Youth and Family Services Annual Report.
Good afternoon, President Asatrian, commissioners, and department staff. My name is Norma Maurer, Community Services Supervisor for the Youth and Family Services section based out of Pacific Community Center. In 2001, the Community Services and Parks Department developed the Youth and Family Services section as part of a mission to provide human services. The program was originally focused on trying to meet the needs of at-risk families, kids, and in some cases, those that were in crisis. And we wanted to provide case management, personalized referrals, and access to drop-in and alternative programming for the kids that were left in the teen age range that are typically needing some additional supervision and engaging activities. So we have the pleasure of working with this program over the years. It's evolved over the past 17 years. It's currently run by a supervisor and a part-timer and a lot of volunteers, along with working with a lot of our partners. The program operates out of Pacific Community Center at 501 South Pacific Avenue, Glendale, California 91204. We run Monday through Friday from 8:30 to 5:30, but we also accommodate evening hours and weekends depending on the needs of the families. We serve typically youth up to age 17, as well as their parents, guardians, and siblings. We do also serve, on the rare occasions, adults that are between the ages of 18 to 21 that typically fall under foster youth transitioning out of care, CalWorks, young mothers, or students that are still enrolled as adults in GUSD. The program is broken down into 5 components, which is youth outreach, information and referral services, case management, teen drop-in and recreation, and community engagement with our teen volunteers. Our primary form of youth outreach is working with the Glendale Unified School District. We work closely with the high schools and middle schools. They have probation officers on campus. It's been dwindling over the years. They've actually just recently narrowed down from probation officer at each of the high schools now to just one that serves the entire Glendale Unified School District. We also work with School Attendance Review Board. We attend meetings twice a month where we are part of a panel where we listen in on the families and the students and listen to their cases to what might be preventing them from attending school and showing up to school in a timely manner and consistently. As well as I get to serve closely with the Child Welfare and Attendance group, which is run through the Student Support Services through GUSD. They provide very specific services for unique populations like homeless families, as well as any foster kids or any unique situations. We work closely with them when we have referrals for any families that might need additional assistance. We work directly with their collaborative in order to be able to meet the needs of our community. The information and referrals portion, a lot of what people call us about are typically over the topics of mental health, depression, anger management. Folks are calling us for help with employment. Typically, if they're teenagers, they might want to know what they're eligible for. We work closely with our Verdugo Job Center and our Glendale Youth Alliance in order to try to best place them, as well as we have worked with some of the parents and some young adults that have been asking for help with resume help and job search as well. A lot of what our work is really about is working with kids that are potentially at risk for gangs, as well as substance abuse. And we work well with our hospitals and local foundations to try to encourage health and wellness, as well as with GCC and our local district programs regarding getting the kids through school as well as onto secondary education. And then we also work with within our section for those that might be interested in finding out information about housing. We do have families that come in that need additional assistance. They may be having trouble with their rent, as well as maybe facing homelessness as well. The case management portion of our program entails the JUST program, which is our Juvenile Ultimatum Service Training. Those are kids that are typically serving their probation court-referred hours for a lot of different reasons. And some of the offenses that we encountered this year were due to getting citations for curfew, possession of tobacco. Really popular item right now is vaping, so they're getting tickets and they're getting in trouble for those, and the court is issuing them hours that they need to work off. Possession of drugs, alcohol, tobacco, other related paraphernalia. Assault, the standard fight will get them into trouble where they need to work off hours. Vandalism, theft, truancy, and graffiti. The main component of the program is, yes, they need to work off their hours, but we don't just put them to work. We try to find out the source of why they got in trouble to begin with and get to know their family. Typically, kids will range from 20 hours to as many as 100, 150 hours that they need to work off. So those kids that come in for 20, we do our best to get to know them, but they're usually out the door before we really get a chance to get into what their lives are about. But at a bare minimum, we do offer them access to job training, as well as if they are getting into trouble due to any mental health issues, we do work with our partners in order to try to get them services. But the kids that are with us a lot longer, we try our best to work with them and their families. Usually it's working with their parents to get them into parenting classes. Anger management classes are really helpful for our students. And also just giving them options on what they can do with their life and giving them reminding them of the path that they've chosen. It doesn't have to continue, and that we would like to try to give them alternatives so that way they don't continue in a life that's going to cost them a criminal future. We work closely with also our police officers, our Glendale Police Department. They have come out, like if you see that picture on the left, that is our 3 of our JUST clients that we're doing a community cleanup on Kenilworth. And we were working that program in line with our STAR program, which is through the police department. And the officer took the time to get to know the kids and just remind them that they don't also have to have contact with police in a negative manner. So we also work with the kids on apology letters if they've wronged someone. Also have them work on a resume. And then if they're artistic, we try to give them different avenues to work off their time as well. But typically we get them working around the facility, cleaning, as well as at special events we have them help with setup and tear down. So Teen Night Out is our social component that we'd like to continue to work on improving the attendance. It happens every other Friday, typically based out of Pacific Community Center. It's run from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. And the kids come in typically just to play, go in the rec room, play billiards, ping pong, PS4, basketball. We also brought in a karaoke machine to have the kids sing along, sometimes horribly, but they sing loud and proud, so they have a good time. Along with Teen Night Outs, we have workshops that take place. All of our partners from GCC to Adventist Health Glendale, a variety of partners come in to provide educational components for the kids that are in attendance, as well as when we promote, we try to get topic-specific attendees to come in for the different workshops that we have. In 2016, we had almost a workshop at every Teen Night Out, and then this year we reduced it back to once a month for various reasons, as listed in the report. Here are some of the topics. We had leadership development, safe and healthy relationships, college scholarships and financial aid, university versus college paths to choose from, youth employment, fitness and nutrition education, clean and healthy teeth, know your rights, and financial responsibility. And those are our partners from Glendale Health Adventist that have been involved in all of our programs throughout parks. They were teaching how to prepare healthy snacks for the kids. Another component of our recreation portion of our teen drop-in is every year, this is our third year offering the teen photo contest. We invite the students to take photos of different things that are important to them. We give the kids a list of different topics. This year we had the chance to use the Teen Night Out participants, as well as when we promoted it on social media, to get students to submit their photos. So in August of 2017, we were able to award the kids that won in each of the categories. Their photo was printed for them, as well as we gave them a 2-hour trip to Glow Zone with unlimited activities and lots of food during that time. Staff were able to encourage them to also come back for the upcoming year, which is the 2018-19 reporting year. Along with our special events for additional engagement, we were able to encourage the kids to join us for Teen Night Out at Downtown Central Library. There are a lot of really creative outlets that are available to the public, and we were partnering with the library in an effort to be able to get them to showcase all of their items for our teens. So we had a group of about 20-25 students that showed up and took part in the 3D art, listening to the musical stylings of the DJs. These were youth DJs, as well as they went in and made music in the sound space. But they pretty much took over the library that evening. It was closed, so they got to really get a chance to learn that that library is really for them, with the hope that they'll come back and be creative. There's also sewing machines and a lot of other arts and craft activities that are available to them on a daily basis. So we really wanted to work with the library to encourage participation at their Makerspace lab. And on the right, we kicked off our My Glendale Teens Instagram by taking some photos at Glendale Dodger Night. We selected our top 10 students who participated in joining us throughout the year with volunteer hours. Those kids that had the most amount of hours were invited to join us for Glendale Dodger Night. And that was also an opportunity for the kids to be able to kick off the My Glendale Teens Instagram, which was a new marketing tool that we were able to push in May of 2018. Additional programs that we started but ended after a few months of attempt in attendance was we brought out our mobile skate park, which was a few different skate park items that are set up. We set it up once a week on Mondays, and we were trying to encourage students to participate, but unfortunately, they just didn't want to wear the gear. They didn't want to wear the safety gear and bring the signed liability form. So we tried it all through spring and summer, and unfortunately, it really didn't serve staff hours to be able to set it up, so we discontinued it after summer, or at the end of summer. Also, in an effort to reach out to more students, we started attending once a week on Wednesdays at Maple Park to provide some drop-in programming for that age group. So again, another program that during the spring, we had a decent attendance, but come summer, it just fizzled out. Part of it too was we were limited on indoor facilities because day camp typically takes place at Maple Park during the day, so they have access to a lot of the rooms. Plus, it just wasn't getting the traction that we needed in order to find it worthwhile to send staff and schedule them to be there every week, so we brought them back to the community center. This program is our teen volunteer program. Our teen volunteer program really started to kick off in January of 2017, where the kids were coming to us asking us for things to do, places to go in order to volunteer, and instead of sending them off to, other agencies immediately, we started allowing them to join us at different special events that took place throughout the city. So they became our go-to for additional help and also an opportunity to give the kids some job training and a little glimpse of things that they might want to do if they'd like to turn their volunteerism into becoming a recreation leader when they're of age. So they help support the day camps program, Verdugo Mountains 10K, National Night Out, Spring Extravaganza, Pacific Community Center, Cesar Chavez event, Riverwalk cleanup, and they also help with summer soccer. The other thing that we did this year was, as the program got popular and the more and more that I attended different events, I got to network with a lot of different community members and partners, and I got to learn about a lot of other opportunities for the kids to be able to spend their time with volunteer hours that we weren't able to support. So as we got to know what was available on the weekends, we would send out kids to those different events in hopes that they were able to use to gain their hours, not only serving with us, but say if it was the Kiwanis Duck Splash, we would say make sure you reach out to them. Any school district events, any events that were not necessarily run through us, but with our partners, we would send the kids over to them, not through our program, but as another avenue for the kids to be able to work hours and gain their hours. So this is a breakdown on how our referrals broke down for the year. We saw we tend to stay with our residents at 163 residents with 19 non-residents this year. Our big age group category that we service continues to be our teenagers. Here are where we get our information and referrals, where people contact us and where we refer them out. Here are the types of services that we refer individuals that contact us. A lot of it is kids calling us or families calling us asking where their children can volunteer, which is a big component of what type of service they're referred to. The fiscal impact. The Youth and Family Services Program was funded by the General Fund and Special Revenue Fund. All services are offered free of charge. The way we get the word out is through community outreach, along with our standard avenues of marketing through the department newsletter, our website, and paper flyers at different events, and our marketing booth that attends different events. We also created at the end of the 2017-18 school year, our fiscal year, the My Glendale Teens Instagram. It was an opportunity for us to join efforts with all of our different departments to promote anything teen related. It was clear that the kids were not following Instagram for the city or specifically for the park because it wasn't something that was relevant to them. So now on the My Glendale Teens, we promote when Glendale Police Department has an Explorer recruitment program, if GYA is hiring. So we go through and try to, we stay in contact with all of the departments on a monthly basis for them to give us content to be able to promote We also work with the high school's key clubs in order to try to get them to also be, to participate in our events, as well as we try to cross-market any events with our partners as well. It's taken off quite a bit. The kids have really loved it. They've been involved, and they participate, or they share a lot, or repost our activities. The other avenue that we've been using this past year is Peach Jar. Peach Jar is the electronic distribution program that the district uses. So whenever we have our Teen Night Out flyer, any workshops, any special events that take place that's free, we promote it through Peach Jar and select the schools and the ages that we'd like to serve. Along with our outreach, we have been attending since January of 2018 on a weekly basis. The high schools have allowed us to visit them during lunchtime, and we use our own volunteers to promote the activities that are going on at the parks, and any opportunity to recruit volunteers. We use this so the kids kind of sell it themselves and encourage their peers to join us. And we bring some games and some giveaways, and we just have a good time, so the kids really get excited when we come by to visit. Here's a list of our partners: Glendale Unified School District, and then within that is a child welfare and attendance through student support services, Glendale Police Department, Glendale Library Arts and Culture, Pacific Clinics, County of Los Angeles Probation Department, Adventist Health Glendale with Champions for Change, D.D. Hirsch Comprehensive Community Health Center, Glendale Federal Credit Union, Friday Night Live, Glendale Communitas Initiative, Glendale Youth Alliance, and Glendale Human Relations Coalition. If you have any questions, please contact Recreation Program Specialist Jackie Balaton at 818-937-7243, or email her at the email listed there. Any questions?
You say you have direct outreach to the youth. Is that reflected in the referrals, or is that a separate category?
That's a separate category. It's hard to track exactly, other than I think for the 2018-19, we'll be able to track what we started with our Instagram, as well as how the kids are learning about our programs for outreach. And then we do talk to the different counselors at the high schools to find out if they are hearing about us, what avenues they're hearing about us, but it's not tracked through currently at this point.
I have a quick question about outcomes on the case management and the JUST. Do we have any data about outcomes and how the kids are doing 1 year or 2 years out, or anything like that?
We don't have formal outcomes. We do have the opportunity to see the kids, especially if they come to us at, say, 9th grade, 10th grade, because the hope is they stay in the Glendale Unified School District. So say they started off at Glendale High School, got in trouble, maybe having attendance problems, and they're now at Daly. Because we work so closely with the SARB, the Student Attendance Review Board, we get to see the students on campus, as well as we talk closely with Dr. Eileen Magrin, who's involved with that portion of their attendance, as well as we work closely with the probation officers who reach out to us if there are any follow-up issues, as well as we do have some really good cases that come out that they learned from this, their infraction, and then turn around and are now working. They straightened up. So it just we don't have a formal report in place.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Would you mind going back to the slide that lists the workshops? So I think last year when this report came, we also talked about the importance of incorporating how to deal with stress and really addressing mental health issues, and integrating those into the different workshops, because I really do believe that, if you're just holding one on mental health, especially when it comes to youth, they're not gonna attend it. But to incorporate it as part of a workshop that's, on leadership development or the safe and healthy relationships and whatnot. Is that actually being done?
We actually are in the works of meeting with Lisa Bubari from Heal Within. She wanted to provide a workshop that kind of went about overall wellness and stress management that the kids are going through that isn't specific to any topic, just being a teenager in general, and some of the more recent issues that are going on that may be causing them stress. It is in the works. Another reason that it may not be listed here is because we've been working with our partners to not duplicate services or duplicate topics. So we reduced our topics this year to only once a month because we were noticing that we were having duplicative education seminars around the same time or financial literacy programs around the same time. But working with the hospitals, we see that they do have some mental health components that we are sending our kids to.
So I think my question was the issue of mental health. Is it being incorporated into any of the workshops that are listed here?
I don't think formally where we strike it as a mental health. I think it's discussing
Dealing with stress and...
Yeah, we're talking to the kids, especially those that come in on a regular basis, our teen night out kids that are regulars. We talk to them on one-on-one. The staff are really close to the kids and try to, we see the differences if there's a behavior difference or personality difference, or even if a teen comes in and he may be a little short-fused, we try to bring up, like, is there anything that you want to talk about? We also give them opportunity to talk to a professional if it looks like they might need additional help. But I think it's overall, the staff that work with the kids are looking at the overall student and child to try to see where they're at, if they're being healthy. But I'm sure we can create more mental health awareness with making sure that they know that there's access to help.
Yeah. If we do have any written materials or where they can get help and addressing some of these things, I think maybe it would just worthwhile to also hand those out regardless of what the topic for the workshop is. Just another idea.
That's a good idea.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda is 8D, Section Activity Reports at 1, Park Services.
Good afternoon, President Al-Satiri and members of Commission. We will be reporting on the month of October for activities. 111 work orders completed, 75 work orders completed by groundskeepers, 1 pest application, and then 35 work orders by irrigation crew for a total of 765 labor hours. We have a couple of the projects we'd like to present to you today. I think we picked only 3, the more exciting ones. First is the Riverwalk Phase 1. As we had mentioned in our last meeting, staff was working the midsection of Riverwalk Phase 1 to provide a well-necessary, what we call TLC. We had issues in that area where the weeds and plants were overgrown into each other. It was very hard to distinguish one from the other. This is an area where we do not use any pesticides because of its proximity to the river, so this became a challenge. Hence, we appreciate our open space folks that come in on a monthly basis and do some cleanup, yet it barely makes a dent to the problem we have. So we had our crews come in and clear the entire area, the midsection, of all plants and vegetation and weeds. Once we had it cleared out, we clearly identified the areas that should be planters, and then the walkways, the paths to the seating areas, which should remain DG. And after getting all the cleanup done, we brought in 6 new trees to be planted in the area. We did have bubblers in place in most cases. Whatever we didn't have the bubblers for the trees, we installed new ones. And after the holes were dug, as you can see the bubblers on both sides, the trees were planted and they began watering immediately. Within a couple of weeks, we started the landscaping process, which was a challenge on its own because the entire landscape irrigation had to be readjusted to accommodate for what we wanted to do. This is the clean shot of all the trees planted before we start the next phase. Given the fact that we've been having a lot of problems with weeds in these planters, we brought in a very high quality weed blocker, this cloth. It was very expensive. It was the first time we're trying it out in our facilities, and we are hoping it'll do the job. It was a significant amount of areas that we had to cover, several thousand square feet with this. And it became a 3-day challenge just to get it installed and had to get shipments of more because we just didn't have enough. But once it was done, as you can see, the landscaping was laid out, very sparsely planted. That's the idea with these because you want to give them room to grow. What we had done in the past, they were planted so closely, then after about 6 months to 9 months, they started kind of growing into each other. With this concept, we'll be able to manage it better, allow them room to grow, and once they do, manage each plant on its own. And this kind of continued on through the entire stretch. Once the landscaping was completed, we brought in mulch, quality mulch and bark, so we can completely cover the areas with the weed blocker. And this is the final version of the side adjacent to ABC, Channel 7. With irrigation working, again, you can see the plants, they're small, but they will grow. And this is going to be a very nice looking landscape once it's done. And we have the midsection also that back in the days had originally turf in the mix. And we had mentioned in a previous meeting that we're planning on bringing turf back. This is the entire walkway with the landscaping in place. And there's one close-up shot. I guess the guys wanted me to show you this one. It's their favorite, it seems. And then we installed turf in this area. Again, irrigation had to be readjusted to accommodate just the turf areas at different frequencies, timeframes than the rest. And here's a shot of the entirety all the way down the stretch. The midsection does look a lot nicer than it did, and the challenge now is to keep it maintained at this level. We should be seeing a reduction in the weeds in the area based on the challenges we faced and what we did with actions we took with the weed blocker and the amount of mulch we put in. So we're hoping to be able to maintain it at higher qualities in the midsection. As you also know, most of you commissioners were present at the Riverwalk Phase 2 grand opening. A portion of that, our staff had to come in and take challenge. This is the hillside at the very end near Confluence Park. This was not part of the original construction plans, yet leaving it bare was not ideal. So we had to go in and prepare with new irrigation. It was very challenging to work because it was very steep and it was very rocky. So it kind of took a little bit of work by the guys to get it accomplished. Once they trenched upper end and then the lower end, installed the irrigation lines, installed the valves, connected the entire irrigation system, got it functioning, cleaned off all the excess rocks and stones, got it piled in the corner for the contractor to come and carry, ran the irrigation tests, and we were ready for. This is a ready portion before the hydro seeding was conducted by the contractor, and this is a shot from Confluence Park at the tail end of Riverwalk. We did during the last 2 months, we completed 2 major field renovations. One was at Montrose Little League Field. This is what the field looked like. Part of this because we had sprayed a chemical to get rid of all the broadleaf, and the mixture the contractor used at this location didn't quite work as well. Luckily for us, we had the field down for maintenance at the same time, so kind of helped us in a way. We came in, we stripped the areas that we need to strip to get it ready. We started working in the outfield. And this is the warning track area, re-leveled, regraded, brought in the right amount of materials, reseeded, and use the top dressings in the mix. Where the key is, they're working on, we call the key, the eye. In that area, we put in some sod. It's easier to maintain, but the rest of this facility was seeded versus sodded. And of course, the arcs, we have to readjust all the irrigation, make sure we have appropriate arc for the distances for the infield skin areas. Another shot of the outfield. This is the infield. The skin areas were torn up to make sure we get it nicely graded and leveled, so we cover only the turf areas for irrigation. Final shot of the infield, which is turf because it is baseball. And here's a shot of the grass field as it came through. I believe we haven't turned it over to the Little League yet, but soon will at the end of this month. Again, we're continuing in this shot, and here's what it looks like currently. It is day and night from what it was before, and we've had at least one compliment that I've received on the turf being so green. And I believe a commissioner in this room was the one who relayed the message to us. We appreciate that. Thank you. Upper Shoal Canyon Field number 1, this was a complete renovation. We tore the entire field out, the entire infield and outfield turf, and then practically regraded the entire field and did a sod installation. The reason why this is a bit more unique, last time we presented Sports Complex Field number 1, we showed you we're using sod cutters. About 12 of those sod cutters were used on those fields, I recall, at the end. And a lot of debris that we had to carry, all the sod we excavated, tore out, we had to take them away and get them done. Cost, man hours, and a waste of materials that we could use. With this sound, we found this, what is called a turf stripper. What it does is it literally tears off the top layer of the grass. It mulches it. It actually creates something we can use to cover fields just like we would do amendments. And so it took a coordination of two different individuals, one running the equipment and the individual in the truck next to it, parallel kind of going at the same distance. So as it strips, it loads onto those trucks. And then we pile them at that facility and reuse them on fields 2 and 3, the other 2 fields, as part of renovating those facilities. So there, we took what would have been a waste and reused it in our facilities. This was very exciting because we did the entire removal of the turf on a much larger facility in one day versus having taken a whole week with a number of pieces of equipment. So this is going to be the new tool that we use for these renovations, especially if we're tearing out the entire field. On these 2 shots, we have it graded. We have the irrigation functioning. The top dressing is there ready for sod installation. We hired our contractor to bring in the big rolls of sod. The staff assisted in getting the infill done, our staff with the contractor. And then once it was done, here's a shot of the field from the south end. The mound is done. The outfield and infield is ready to go. And here it is ready to be turned over to our leagues. Those are the 3 we present today. We're working on a couple of exciting projects. We're working at doing landscaping in the Perkins Plaza, the waterfall. It was finally ready for us to do our landscaping. We're working with the community over at Adams Mini. They actually helped us redesign the landscape at Adams Mini, and they're partaking in the process. Staff's working closely with those individuals, and we'd like to highlight their achievements in the next presentation. As well as we are getting ready for the holiday season. As you know, during Thanksgiving weekend, our staff will come in and decorate City Hall and the lobby as well as the plaza outside. This is going to be a very unique, completely different than what you've seen before, and we're very excited to display that. You can visit on Monday. You should all be ready to go. We look forward to that. And that is the end of my presentation. If you have any questions that I can answer, I'd be glad to.
I don't have any questions, so next item.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next is 8D2, Recreation and Community Services.
Good afternoon, President Asaturian, members of the Commission, city staff. My name is Sabah Garibidian, Senior Community Services Supervisor with the Community Services and Parks Department. So I wanted to highlight some of the events and activities that took place at our facilities during the last 2 months. First off, I wanted to start off by saying that our recreation staff, our facility attendants, and some of our rec leaders assisted with the city's Glendale Tech Week event, citywide, by providing anything from tables and chairs to our large LED screen for the event and providing sound to various of these venues as well. The department also assisted in the renaming ceremony at Maryland Paseo to Artsakh Paseo. Pacific Community Center hosted the National Catholic Charities League annual rummage sale. Department staff assisted with the Glendale Education Foundation State of the Schools breakfast, and the department co-sponsored that event because it took place at the Civic Auditorium. We had the Los Angeles Dodgers NLCS viewing parties at Artsakh Paseo. We provided a climbing wall and marketing booth at Glendale Police Department's open house. And Pacific Park Community Center and Branch Library also had its 15th anniversary celebration and fall festival. Here's some pictures of that fall festival with our pumpkin patch, carnival games, the wall, our petting zoo, and horseback riding station, and then picture of the cake as it's being distributed to the event participants. Our Youth and Family Services section had its typical teen night outs every other Friday night, along with 2 workshops. The September workshop was about leadership and leaders, and that's through our partnership with LA County and the Friday Night Live initiative. Also in October, we had our Glendale College Jumpstart presentation, where GCC talked about their Jumpstart program, where kids don't have to wait until graduating from high school to start enrolling in classes at Glendale Community College. Teen outreach continued at various high schools and middle schools. I've listed them all: Hoover, Daly, Roosevelt, Wilson, and Rosemont. Team volunteers assisted with our STAR program, our One Glendale Tuesday, Wednesday typical games, as well as our championship game. They helped at the Fall Festival as well. One Glendale, during the 2017-18 school year, we started a new tradition of each season taking some of these participants to an actual real game experience, whether it was a college game or a professional match, depending on what season each one's in and the sports season that one Glendale's in. So on October 20th, 50 kids went to the UCLA-Arizona game at the Rose Bowl. On October 6th, we had the GO program up at Duke-Majin Wilderness Park. And then on October 27th, we had our championship day at Pacific Community Center. Our STAR students in September and October visited Fire Station 21 and Autumn Hills on Glendale Avenue. The students every year make a tradition of going to Autumn Hills. The week before, they'll make some sort of a craft to give out to the seniors that they're going to be visiting, and then the following week, they'll give out the crafts to the seniors themselves. We continued our partnership with Glendale Association of Realtors. They provide dinner to the participants just about once a month at the minimum, sometimes twice a month. So our STAR students that are in program from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m., 7 p.m. at night, we provide the dinner, and Glendale Association of Realtors actually sponsors that meal by providing the meals for them. And then, of course, at the end of October is Halloween, so we had our Halloween events. Therapeutic Recreation had its cooking night and its Halloween party. Trails and Open Space had numerous programs in addition to their traditional work days, whether it's their Riverwalk work day or their Wilderness work day. They had a couple of educational series as well, whether it's the Friday night lecture series or a medicinal plant hike that took place out of Duke-Majin Wilderness Park. And that concludes my presentation, if there are any questions. Thank you.
Next is adjournment.
Well, before we adjourn, want to wish everybody a very happy Thanksgiving. And also want to use this opportunity to thank my fellow commissioners and the staff for doing the incredible work that you do. Meeting's adjourned.